Remington here from Impulse Creative. I figured it'd be handy as a follow-up to my presentation at Macon to talk about ideal client avatars, especially because it's important. We've got ChatGPT just released their Atlas browser, Perplexity with their Comment browser, and you now have Google Chrome that has their Google Lens functionality, and they've got AI mode right in the drop-downs of the URL area. Ideal client avatars are so important because it is another slice into what a buyer persona would be. And so I'm going to walk you through, we built a AI agent in agent.ai called the Ideal Client Avatar Builder. You can jump over there and I'll provide a link in the comments to test this out yourself. Essentially what we need to do is describe the product or service. We need to drop in information about the target ideal client profile and then the buyer personas that would be a part of that ideal client profile. Let's jump back over to here. I'm going to show you the functionality of Google AI mode within Chrome. We can go, what are the key features of this software? And so in the side panel, it's going to go through and it's going to do an AI overview, assess this page and show me all the details on the different things that you can do. Interestingly, it calls it different things overall for the tool. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to copy this content here. And I'm going to copy that. And you can see it's pulling from multiple pages about this. It also provides additional information around the software. This overview is coming from more than just this page. And this is why it's so important for us to be ultra specific with our target audiences or our ideal client avatars. And then we're going to come into the describe your product or service and we're going to hit paste. And so this breaks down the details of the feature. You could describe your product or service in your own words, probably a little bit better. For the sake of our demo, I just wanted to get some information. I have seen people just put in website development. It will work, but the more specific and engaged you get here, the better. So then we have target ideal client profile. So we're going to say we want a B2B fintech startup with 100 employees or more. And then buyer personas, a CMO that is newly appointed to the company. And let's also talk about a marketing manager that is juggling too many hats. And we're going to hit go. This is going to go through the process overall. Ultimately, what this is going to do is we have a series of prompts that do research and understand the different details. The goal for this is for it to drive some ideation about the things that need to be thought of and how we should be thinking those buyer personas and how they could get more specific, right? So if we can slice out our buyer personas into several deeper examples of these ideal client avatars, this allows for our content to be kind of 10x in regards to how much more specific it is. Also allows for our content to us to create 10x the content because as this fits into our overall AI empowered content creation process, it allows for you to consider how you take that source of truth document and define it all the way down and start to build out your content outlines. All right, this is the information that we've submitted. And then as we scroll down, you're going to see we've got Eleanor, the Chief Marketing Officer, and the newly appointed CMO at a rapidly scaling fintech startup. She needs to get revenue impact in her first 90 days amidst the complex MarTech stack and policy regulations. An important thing about this is if she's using ChatGPT or Google Gemini or any of these other tools, they have memory. She could be doing research on this half of ways for her to help get more progress and how to understand different things. And when she starts looking for alternatives or finding better ways to do things, she might not even realize that she's actually pulling this, but the LLMs are going to connect the dots. So foundational context, fintech startup, specializing in AI-driven fraud prevention. This is like an example of someone, and newly appointed CMO. The specifics, this is putting together the story, highly strategic, data obsessed, pressing business problems, inherited a fragmented marketing approach with a whole bunch of different tools. The current lead scoring is a black box. They need to show the board how marketing spend translates into pipeline, not just MQLs. Her fears are meeting these aggressive growth targets. The goals is to implement a unified marketing program. The challenges of lack of data and navigating privacy regulations. And when we start to think about the types of things she would search from an AEO standpoint, what are the best multi-touch attribution models? Comparing HubSpot Marketing Hub Enterprise to competitor, drafting a strategic plan for consolidated fragmented tech stack to a unified platform, watering holes, places she might hang out to get information. And then we come up with 10 content ideas that are specific, 5 conversation starters for community that you could do searches on Reddit or Quora. And then more importantly, these are our FAQs that are specific to that service. So you've got 10 pieces of content that you could answer right on your overall content. And then as we go further down, we have Liam here, Marketing Operations Manager. This person is struggling to personalize campaigns at scale. This is a slightly different focused on embedding finance APIs for e-commerce platforms. The pressing business problem, he's spending too much time on repetitive tasks, burnout, costly errors for manual processes, frustrations, the disconnected MarTech stack here. How can I automate lead qualification? So all of these things are going to be very specific details to, in this case, HubSpot's marketing team and making sure that there's content connected to this in regards to engagement. You could use this as a foundational starting point for ideas on what to do and where to go for these different questions. How robust are HubSpot's native integrations with common fintech tools and CRMs like Salesforce? Can HubSpot automation workflows handle complex multi-stage lead nurturing sequences? These are questions that he would ask, but Eleanor might not. And this is where the ultra specifics need to happen. So you can use this ideal client avatar builder with Agent AI all by yourself. You can see Sophia, the head of growth. And then we've got Marcus, the content marketing lead, and Chloe, the sales operations manager. These are all different folks that have their own unique points of view and the content that is needed. So when you come back to look at the types of things that happen with these AI overviews when someone's looking at your particular page, or how they would compare and look at the other tools that are available, you really need to be sure that you're driving the most amount of value. And in today's market, everyone seems to be wanting to pull back and pump the brakes in regards to content creation. AEO is stealing our traffic. The reality is we need to double down and in a lot of cases 10x the content we're creating, but make it 10x more specific. So this is a tool that we just created so that it'd make it easier for us and it will make it easier for you too. Let me know what you think. Check it out and start creating more content.